So on the home screen, you're gonna see different options. You would just focus on the first or the second tab. You can submit the Singapore arrival card from here. I'm gonna tap on that. And if you are traveling alone, you would just, submit an individual submission. If you're going with friends or family, you can do a group submission. I'm going to do an individual submission. When you tap on that, it takes you to add a submission. If it's your first time, you don't have any profiles, so you would just add a profile on here. You have two options, so Singapore citizens or residents, pass holders, you would choose the top one. For tourists and visitors, you would do the second one. And from here, you would just fill in the information. So once you fill in all your details from your passport, you have the option to scan your passport to have it extract the information for this form. All right, so I'm gonna do next. It's gonna ask you where you live. Once you finish your contact information, like your number, your cell phone number, and your email, you would just save. And boom, there you go. That's your profile. You would just select your profile and add your date of arrival in Singapore. And notice here, this is important. You can't fill this form out way in advance. It has to be done within 3 days prior to your date of arrival, including the date of arrival. And it gives you an example here. I actually did it like 2 days before or even the day before. It doesn't matter. If you are worried about this portion, like what's 3 days, it will tell you if you do it too soon. Like right here, it says you can't do it. It's kind of nice because it takes the guesswork out. Don't worry too much about that. Okay, so date of arrival, date of departure. Gonna hit next. And mode of travel. You're flying in probably. So you're gonna enter your flight information. Address in Singapore, they want to know, where you're going to be. Are you going to be at a hotel? Are you going to be with somebody's house? I'm just going to choose a random one. So it's going to ask you where you came from before Singapore. Wherever you departed from, that's what you're going to write on here. So if you're just going home, you can just tap on same as last city. If you're going somewhere else, just put that down, hit next. So have you ever used a passport under a different name to enter Singapore? For example, like maybe you got married or something like that. It's gonna ask you about your health. Have you visited any of these listed countries? And it basically, gives you the government website for these countries that they have certain health restrictions from. So I'm gonna say no. You're gonna have to review the answers. Make sure your passport details are correct. Your contact information, how long you're gonna be in Singapore, how we're gonna get there, where you are staying in Singapore, where you're coming from, where you're going. This is a health declaration. Make sure that everything is right and, agree to it. And boom, submit, and you are all set. Verify, kablam. So there you go. This is your window after you have successfully submitted your arrival form to Singapore. If you want, go to declaration receipt, take a screenshot of this on your phone. And when you get to the airport, when you arrive in Singapore, just show them this. They're gonna scan it and that's gonna pull everything up. And they will also email you a copy of this information. So this isn't as scary as it might look. If you want to go back to, the home page, click on that again, and you're gonna see what you just submitted. You can view or edit, retrieve it, extend your stay. Maybe you like Singapore a lot. You want to stay longer. Submitting an arrival form in Singapore can be confusing, but here is how to do it.